Hi, Ernie.
Hi.
I sent an article about David Hager in,
Yeah, I had that a while ago.
oh, you knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me get a pen.
Lamed Amid Aleph, 30.
Doors are not on straight. Have a place in front of the door.
Mr. Alange,
Oh, hello, Mario. How you doing? How's your week?
Good. Busy.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Lamed Amid Aleph. He mashvi based in Shaliach. We talked about a Shaliach comes and he gets sick. And he can't continue, and they need to appoint another Shaliach. Befonov, when Bezdin appoints a new Shaliach, does it have to be Befonov or Shaloi Befonov? Does the original Shaliach have to be there? Hadar Pashta Ben Befonov Ben Shaloi Befonov. He doesn't have to be there. Shachum Mitam Ben Befonov Ben Shaloi Befonov. And that's how the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch paskin. Hahuda Omar, person said, Ilo Asina Atlosin Yom Lavi Gita. He gave her a get, but he said, I don't want it to have a chalois. It only has a chalois if I don't come back within 30 days. Also, he comes back, but he's on the other side of the river, or Pascha Mavra, the bridge gave out, and he can't cross. He can't physically get back, but he's waving his arms on the other side of the river. Amarlu chazuda soy. Look, I'm back. Amar Shmuel lo yishma masya. It's not considered coming back. It's a concept of ein oinsen begitten. You can't use oinus, an accident, as a taina that you didn't fulfill it tonight. Another case where the man said he gave them a get, he gave some people a get to hold. And he said, Eloi Fasina Allah, I'm going to go ask forgiveness from my wife. Ad plus in Levi Gita. If she doesn't forgive me within these 30 days, give her the get. Azal Faisa, he went and tried to ask forgiveness. V'lo Faisa. He did what he said he was going to do, but she didn't forgive him. What do you mean? If he gave her $1 million, wouldn't he didn't? It doesn't make a difference what he did. If she didn't forgive, the Tanai is not fulfilled, and it's a get. It's asked in a bitmia question. I mean, does he have to give her $1 billion? Hafaisa, he tried the law of Faisa. She didn't agree, but he fulfilled what he was supposed to do, so it shouldn't be a get. So the machlokas is kemandamar yeshar is begitten. By if you say yeshar is begitten, then if he comes back and the bridge gave out, then it's not a get because it was an accident that he couldn't get back, or if she didn't forgive him. Those that say it is a get, kemandamar ain't on his begitten. Mishnah. Hamal v'mois is a kohen v'salevi v'sa'ani. They make a deal. Reuven loans a kohen or a Levi money. And the idea is the balabayas who loan the money, instead of getting paid back by the kohen, will keep, he has to give truma, he has to give meiser. When he separates, he'll just keep it. He'll consider as if he was paid back. And he can sell it directly. can't eat it. He has to sell the truma part to a Kohen, and you could use the Meiser Rishon, except for the Trumas Meiser that's in there. So, Mafresh Alein, the Cheska Shein Kayamin. Why is this Mishnah doing here? We're continuing in this discussion. Do we have to assume that the guy is dead? So we say no.
Thank you, my love. Let me know.
He can be mafresh
Okay, my
the
love.
Trumas Meisers and sell them with the chazaka that they're alive. Ain't a choish Hashem and Mesa Koino Alevi or Hesher Oni. Maybe the Oni became wealthy. Now, in Mesu, if it's evident that the people who borrowed the money died, he can't just go ahead and sell the items, the tvua, the produce, like he made a deal with the guy who was alive. He has to get permission from the Yorshim. And Hilvon, if they bezdin, if this tonight was done in front of bezdin, then Einot Tzarach Lito Rishus B'nai Yorshim. Then he doesn't have to get permission from the Yorshim. It's considered a Maisa bezdin. Now, this is considered payment. The truma that he owed or the meiser that he owed never reached the Kohen or the Levi. Is that okay, even without a kinyan? These were well-known Kohanim and Leviim to the Balabayas. He, on a regular basis, gave them trumas and meisers. So it's a chazaka that as if they were koinim. But Shmuel says no, but mezakelehem ayidechem. He has to say be mezake on behalf of those kohanim, and then he takes it from that guy. Ula Omar Hamani, who is our Mishnah, Rabbi Yossi. Omar also Hashem is It's an example of even someone who didn't acquire something through a normal kinyan can be zoichet. Now, kula karav lo yamri. Shmuel didn't say like Rav. Ki makire lo toni. He didn't say specifically he can only do this with Kohanim that he knows. Ki Shmuel lo ka'amri. Rav didn't say like Shmuel to be mezakeh to somebody else on their behalf because it doesn't say that either in the Mishnah. Look, toni. Ula nami lo amri. Ula, who said that Mishnah is Rabbi Yossi, ki yichidolo mukmina. We're not going to set it up like the Das Yochi Rabbi Yossi. We tried to set up our Mishnah Kedivra Kol. Torah. By the way, tomorrow we're going to learn at 5:00.
Okay.
Okay? It's a short blot. It's a short blot. Oh, gentlemen, I'm going to be in the valley. There's a kiddush for my granddaughter. So I'm going to be in the valley for Shabbos. So I'm going to teach Daf Yomi at night, but via Zoom at 9 p.m. What time did you guys get home? Do we do it at 9:15?
9:15.
Okay, let's do it 9:15. So it's not too late. 9:15 by Zoom, Motzei Shabbos. Parabon. He did this deal where he loans money to the coin on the basis that he's going to keep the trumas and the maestras. The Mishnah said, or the Brisa says, he goes ahead and mafresh the truma with the chazaka that they're alive. Now they have to establish a price, and it's the cheapest price. So it's either the time of the afrasha or the cheapest price, or the current price. The din is it's at the cheapest price. The ein bo mishum ribis, and there's no interest. We don't say because he forwarded them the money. And he's getting paid back more than what he gave them. It's not ribis. And Ein Shvius Misham Tasso. This deal is not wiped away by Shemitah. The imba lachzor. If the lender wants to go back on this deal, he can't go back. Nisyashu Abailim. He thinks his crop is going to go bad. He's not going to have anything to be mafresh. And he basically had in mind, I'm never going to get my money. Even though maybe he made a mistake, he was hasty. Ein mafresh aleim. He doesn't sell the maestros and the trumas. Rather, the money he gave is considered like a matana. Lefi shein mafresh alo avud. Since he abandoned, he was misyayish. So the money that he gave to the people who quote unquote borrowed from it's like a matan. Amar that the deal is made based on the cheapest price. Pshita, why not? Even though they didn't decide on a price, we can rely on it. And ein bo mishum ribis, my timer. Kiva the chalesle. Let's say nothing grew in the field because it was a drought. Lo yoivle. He still doesn't have to come. The guy who borrowed the money doesn't have to come up with money. That's the deal they made. So ki isle nami ein bo mishum ribis. So when there is profit, it's not considered ribis because they could lose everything on the other way. Vein shvius mishtam taso. Shemitah doesn't wipe it away. Shelo karina beilo yigos esra'eu v'sachiv. You cannot press the guy you lent money to pay you back because the lender in this case can't press it. And the imbal lachzor, if the lender wanted to go back on the deal, and close it. The balabais can't tell the kohen, I'm going back, and give me back my money, and I won't use the truma. But aval kohen balabais and bagloser choizer. If the kohen wants to change the deal and maybe pay him back the money, he can. This non. In Nasan Lomos, if a guy's buying something from a storekeeper and he gives the storekeeper money, but he didn't do an act of kinyan mashicha, the moicher can go back on it. So the coin also only accepted money. There was no kinyan on the pirasat truma of the balabayas. Money doesn't make a kinyan gomer. So if the kohen wants to collect his truma, he can. And then this Yashua, we said if the Bailim give up hope of ever growing any produce in that field, then ein mafrish aleim, the fish ein mafrish ala ovud. So there's nothing to do mafresh pshita. It's a dover pashu. Lo tzricha de akun. The tvua became dry. The same akdus milsa. Maybe you can say that the produce can come back, and he's got to be misyayish completely. Kamash malon. A person is not going to rely that his produce is going to come back if it reaches that stage. If this deal was done in Beis Din, umesu, mafresh alem becheskes osa shevet. You don't have to check the yorship. It's based on shevet kohuna or shevet Levi. And v'esa oni bebeis din, and the deal was made with an oni in umeis mafresh alem becheskes ani Yisrael. He does it based on the general ani. Rav Achai Omer becheskas aniyah oilam. And what's the difference between aniyah Yisrael and aniyah oilam? Ma binayu? Iki binayu aniyah kusim. Our old friend the kusim. Are they considered aniyim regarding Meiser Ani or not? According to Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, they're not considered part of Klal Yisrael, and we're not mafish for them. Rav Achai says, even though they're in general not like Yisrael, but they're geirim, and therefore they're considered aniyeh oilam, and you can be mafish on their behalf. Then the Mishnah said, "He sher ha'ani," the ani became wealthy, and mafish alav. We don't give him, we don't separate produce for him. The zacha halah, the mashaviyadu, and the ani gets to keep the money. V'rabbanan ma'ishta lemisa the avatakanta. By a person dying, we say you can be mafish on behalf of the other achem, he can sell it. U'ma'ishta lashiris, when an ani becomes wealthy, shalovata, there's no takana. Okay, because misa shchicha, for a person to die, that's something that happens. Chazal will make example. Ashiras lo shchicha. A person becoming wealthy is very unusual. And they didn't make a takana for that. Amrav Papa, Ainu Damri Inchi, Chavercha Mis, Asher. Somebody tells you your friend died, unfortunately, you have to believe that. But somebody says somebody got wealthy, don't believe it unless they prove it to you, because it's something that's unusual. Then we said in the Mishnah Maze, Sarachli told Rishus, you have to get permission from the Yorshim to continue the deal. Tanya Rebbe Omer, the Yorshin she Yorshu. We're talking about Yorshim that inherited. The Gemara doesn't understand. What do you mean? Mi'ika Yorshin Shalo Yarsi? What does that mean? What do you mean Yorshim that don't inherit? Elan Rav Yechanan, the Yorshim have to Yarshin Karka. Because from Karka you can collect on a debt. They only inherited money because lenders don't collect from money. Rav Yonson, im hiniach mole machat, even if he left a piece of land the size of a needle, goyve mole machat. That's the amount he can collect. Mole kardim, goyve mole kardim. The amount of a shovel, that's how much. Everything depends on how much land he left. However, Rav Yechonam Rafilu niach mole machat, goyve mole kardim. From the karka of a needle, you can be goyve even more. Like the case that came in front of Abaya, where the sons had inherited a small piece of land, which only covered a part of the debt that the father owed. He can keep on coming back over and over to that. The lender can keep on going back. One after another until he collects the whole loan, until he gets the whole thing paid back. Yisrael sha'amar l'Levi, ma'isru yesh l'cha biyadi. He says to Levi, I separated ma'isru for you. Now, Levi has to give truma to the coin from his meiser, and that portion cannot be eaten by Levi Yisrael. So, if you use the word meiser yesh l'cha, we assume that the truma, there's no trumas meiser in that produce. But if he gave them a certain number, kur meiser yesh l'cha, I have a bushel of meiser, we have to be concerned that the trumas meisers haven't been given. Now, Micah Amar, we don't understand what you just said. Amar Bayochi Kamar. Yisrael Shamal Levi, Ma'aser Yeshcha Biyadi V'Hiler. Dama. You say, I separated Meiser 100 bushels, and here is the money that it's worth. Ein Choshesh Shemasot Shemas Meiser Mokum Acher. We don't say that the Levi used some of that produce for Trumas Meiser for stuff that he had somewhere else. Because the Levi doesn't really know how much produce there was there. So he doesn't rely on it. But if the Levi was told, Kur Meiser Yeshcha Biyadi V'Hilich Dama, here's Chosheshin Shemasot Trumas Meiser Mokum Acher. Maybe the Levi used that produce that the Yisrael told him, I'm going to give to you for Meiser, for Trumas Meiser that he had for other produce that he hadn't given yet. Frank, the Gemara, what do you mean? Are we dealing with Rishoim? The Shakli Dmei, that they take money and they take the Meiser? Umashvale Trumas Meiser? I mean, we're not talking about double dipping here. This is how you have to understand the case. Yisrael Sho'amar LeBen Levi Meiser Lavicha Biyadi. Person says to a Levi, you know, I owed your father Meiser, and I had told him about it. So I wanted Hilich Dam of the Tmarasu. Let me give you the money of the value of that Meiser. So in that case, Ein Choshin Shemaso Aviv Trumas Meiser Makamaka. We're not concerned that the father, before he died, had used that produce for Trumas Meiser for other produce that he had. And therefore the son can be paid off completely with money that it's worth. But if the Balabais told the Levi, Kur Meiser Lavicha Biyadi V'Hilich Dama, I had a bushel of Meiser that I owed your father. Here's the money for it. In that case, maybe the father had used it, and the father doesn't know the affairs of the son doesn't know the affairs of the father, and in that case, he can't take the money. Now, why do we think that the father had used it for Trumas Meiser? People who were not Amei Haaretz, who were Chaverim. So whenever they were given something, right then and there, they separate Trumas Meiser. They wouldn't have used this Trumas, this produce for Trumas Meiser that he gave, because they do it all at the same time. We're dealing with Chaverim here. So then we still don't understand the case well. Ben Yisrael Shomer Levi, a regular Yisrael said to a Levi, Kach Omer li Abo. The Yisrael said, my father told me, Meiser L'cha Biyadi. There is Meiser that I owe to a Levi. Or his father had told him, Meiser Lavicha Biyadi. Or the father told the son, I have Meiser to the father of that Levi. In that case, Choshesh and Trumas Meiser. There might be Trumas Meiser there that was not mufresh. Why? Kivin Deloy kids. It's not a set amount. Lo'avim maskin le balabais. So the balabais would not have separated Trumas Meiser on it. But Kur Meiser l'chabiyot, if he gave a specific amount, like a bushel, or Kur Meiser lavicha biyot, I have a bushel of your father's Meiser. Ein Choshesh Trumas Meiser shabo, because even the kids, since it's a set amount, we for sure that the balabais gave Trumas Meiser on it. Afraid to Gemara v'chiyeshlo reshus l'balabais to Trumas Meiser instead of the Levi. Don't we have to wait for the balabais to give the Meiser to the Levi, and then the Levi gives Truma from his Meiser? What, the balabais can jump the gun and give Trumas Meiser on behalf of the Levi? Or is this in? Yes, there's such a shita. Abelazar ben Gamla, the Tanya Abelazar ben Gamla, it says v'nechshav lachem trumaschem kidagan min agoyren uchlamelea min ayokin v'shtei trumas hakosim v'daber. We'll explain this tomorrow when we learn the blood tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Have a great Erev Shabbos, everybody.